GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
6 concertgoers were hospitalized yesterday after a crowd surge at a free outdoor performance during the Montreal Jazz Festival, organizers said. The incident occurred near the main stage in the festival's downtown park, where thousands had gathered for the evening's program. Urgence's Santé responders arrived within minutes, treated the injured on site, and transported the 6 individuals to nearby hospitals for further care. Festival officials confirmed that medical teams were positioned as part of the standard safety plan for all free shows, and that the response proceeded according to protocol. While the crowd size was larger than usual, authorities noted no further injuries and the event continued without additional disruption. The Jazz Festival, a long-standing summer fixture, routinely coordinates with city health services to manage the high volume of attendees at its open-air concerts.
Rainfall across the island's outskirts has turned this year's strawberry crop into a sweeter, more abundant harvest. Farmers in a suburb just north of the city report that steady June showers have boosted sugar levels in the berries while expanding overall yields. Food experts say the moisture surge could translate into lower shelf prices for shoppers as supply climbs. Quebec, one of Canada's top strawberry producers, normally sees modest yields, but the current wet conditions are reshaping the market. Taste tests by the Provincial Agriculture Board show the fruit scoring higher on sweetness than last year's average. Growers are already seeing larger baskets ready for transport to local markets and grocery aisles. Retailers in the downtown market have begun stocking the juicier berries, anticipating strong demand. Analysts note that if the rain continues, consumers may enjoy both better flavor and a modest price dip throughout the summer season.
City officials announced this morning a $40 million allocation to equip municipal police officers with body-worn intervention cameras. The funding, set aside by the City Council, will cover purchase, installation, and training for the new devices across all precincts. Police leadership says the cameras are intended to record interactions with the public, providing visual evidence for investigations and accountability reviews. The budget line appears in the latest municipal financial plan and is earmarked for rollout beginning later this quarter. Officials emphasize that the program will be rolled out in phases, prioritizing high-traffic districts before expanding island-wide. The move follows a growing trend among North American municipalities to adopt wearable technology for law enforcement transparency. Mayor Soria Martinez Ferrada said the initiative reflects the city's commitment to modernizing public safety tools. No further details on the procurement timeline were released.
Farmers across the Montérégie region are voicing strong opposition to a proposed renewable energy development that would generate 100 megawatts of power. The municipality behind the plan says the project will help Quebec meet its expanding clean energy targets, but landowners argue that installing wind turbines on their fields could compromise soil health, crop yields, and long-term viability of their farms. Community meetings held early this morning drew dozens of protesters, many of whom cited past experiences with similar installations that altered local microclimates. Provincial officials have pledged to review the proposal, while the municipality maintains that modern turbine siting standards will mitigate any agricultural impact. The dispute underscores a growing tension between the province's climate ambitions and the preservation of its rural agricultural landscape. The council will decide on the permit by early July.
Yesterday, volunteers from Montreal's Venezuelan community gathered at the Arapura du Plateau on the Plateau Mont-Royal to sort and pack relief supplies for the recent quakes in Venezuela. The event followed the twin earthquakes that struck the South American nation on Wednesday, leaving thousands injured and many homes damaged. Organizers reported that dozens of families contributed food, water, clothing, and basic medical items, which were loaded onto shipping containers bound for Caracas and affected regions. The restaurant's kitchen served as a central hub, with local patrons helping to label boxes and arrange transport. Community leaders said the effort reflects a coordinated response across diaspora groups that have been organizing collections since the disasters began. The pack shipments are slated to depart later this week, aiming to reach victims within days as soon as possible.
Coming up, we dissect the Canadians' trade, picking Timofey Runso for Brandon Carlo, and other headlines. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for staying with us. Now our local reporter will take you through the stories shaping our neighborhoods today.
Yesterday, the NHL draft in Buffalo wrapped up with a couple of moves that will ripple through the local hockey scene. The Montreal Canadiens used their second-round slot to claim Russian forward Timofey Runso, adding a fresh prospect to a roster many fans are already eyeing for the upcoming season. Across the board, the Toronto Maple Leafs sent defenseman Brandon Carlo to the St. Louis Blues, receiving 2 third-round selections in return. The trade gives Toronto extra cards for future drafts while freeing up a roster spot, and the Blues add a veteran blue liner as they look to tighten their defense. For Canadiens supporters, Runso's arrival means another name to watch in junior leagues and local rinks, while the broader draft activity underscores how quickly team lineups can shift even before the first puck drops.
Tomorrow, July 1st, Montreal is set to face a heat index of 40 degrees Celsius, the highest this summer. Meteorologists warn that the sweltering conditions could make any outdoor activity feel exhausting, and officials are urging anyone planning a move to pack plenty of water. The advice comes as families and renters often schedule relocations on the holiday, meaning trucks, stairs, and heavy boxes will be exposed to the intense heat. Staying hydrated can help prevent dehydration and heat-related illness, especially for older adults and children who may be assisting. Local health services recommend drinking small amounts regularly rather than waiting until thirst hits. With temperatures expected to soar, the reminder aims to keep residents safe while they navigate the demanding task of moving on one of the hottest days on record.
Provincial police have activated a silver alert after a 75-year-old resident of Manville, in Quebec's Lanaudière region, was reported missing on June 26. The senior left his home that morning and has not been located. Authorities say the individual may be disoriented, prompting the immediate public notification. In Quebec, silver alerts serve as rapid dissemination tools to find missing seniors or persons with cognitive impairments. The alert remains active as officers continue searches throughout the community and surrounding areas. Police are coordinating with local resources to determine the senior's whereabouts and to ensure safety. The alert has been transmitted to radio stations, highway signs, and digital platforms across the Lanaudière region. Several search teams, including K-9 units and volunteers, have been dispatched to neighborhoods surrounding the senior's residence. Officials will update the public as new information becomes available. The investigation is ongoing.
Yesterday evening, Quebec's Auto Insurance Board joined forces with the province's Motorcycle Association to launch a campaign urging riders to adopt portable airbag safety vests. The initiative, announced at 6:15 p.m., pairs the inflatable vests with helmets, reinforced jackets, and other protective gear to create a layered defense against crashes. Officials said the vests can deploy within milliseconds, cushioning impact and potentially lowering the province's motorcycle death toll. The board will provide informational brochures at licensing offices and partner garages, while the association plans demo rides at local tracks to let riders experience the technology firsthand. By promoting this equipment alongside existing safety practices, the program aims to give motorcyclists an extra line of protection on Quebec's busy streets. The board estimates that widespread adoption could shave several lives off the annual motorcycle fatality count. It will track usage rates through insurance claims and rider surveys over the coming months.
Yesterday, the city of Mercier submitted a formal petition to the Quebec government demanding action on the persistent gridlock that plagues Route 138. Municipal officials said the highway, a key artery on the South Shore, regularly snarls commuters during peak hours, extending travel times and eroding quality of life. The petition outlines a series of measures, including widening lanes, improving signal coordination, and exploring alternate routes, and urges provincial planners to prioritize funding. City representatives highlighted that residents have voiced frustration for years, noting that the congestion hampers daily trips to work, school, and services across the region. By putting the request in writing, Mercier hopes to accelerate a coordinated response that will restore smoother flow and reduce the bottleneck that has become a routine obstacle for thousands of drivers.
Now let's turn to your evening outlook with our meteorologist and see what tomorrow holds.
A brisk jet stream from the northwest forces high pressure to dominate, squashing any lingering showers tonight. On this date, Montreal once baked to a record 31.2 degrees in 2021, a spike that rode the tail of an unprecedented heat wave across the province. The opposite extreme fell in 2024, when a sudden Arctic surge drove temperatures down to 9.2 degrees, the coldest June night on record. Normal highs hover around 29 degrees and lows near 16, so both extremes sit well outside the climatological envelope. Those benchmarks remind us how quickly the jet can swing the city from scorch to chill. The live radar is completely clear from the St. Lawrence to the Laurentians, no echoes at all. A high-pressure ridge sits aloft, choking lift and trapping moisture aloft. The jet stream races overhead from the northwest at roughly 181 kilometers per hour, pushing any stray disturbances eastward. With no precipitation visible, the night will stay dry and stable. At 11 p.m. Montreal sits under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 23 degrees and humidity at 56%. A light west wind blows at 9 kilometers per hour, but the forecast calls for gusts up to 28 kilometers per hour from the southwest as the day progresses. A high-pressure ridge is building aloft, rising and sealing in warm air, while the jet stream slices overhead from the northwest at roughly 181 kilometers per hour, steering any upper-level disturbances far to the east. With the ridge suppressing lift, no rain is expected, and the sky will remain mostly clear. The UV index holds at 7, and with no alerts in force, conditions stay straightforward through tomorrow's daylight hours. Looking ahead, Monday will stay dry under a clear sky, with a high near 28 degrees and a low holding at 16. Tuesday brings the first wet spell. The jet stream dips south, pulling moist air inland and delivering overcast conditions with a 60% chance of rain, while temperatures climb to 32 degrees and dip to 18 at night. Wednesday remains overcast, but the rain threat eases to 35%, and the high steadies at 31 with a low around 23. Thursday stays cloudy without measurable rain, high 30 and low 23, as the ridge reasserts itself. Friday clears again, offering a pleasant high of 29 and a low of 21, with light breezes from the west. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay tuned for traffic updates, a look at today's city events, and the latest on our hockey season. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
A big week for the Canadiens family, 2 names, 2 honors. Brendan Gallagher has officially become a Montrealer in the eyes of the city itself. The Canadiens forward was named an honorary citizen of Montreal, with the ceremony held at City Hall last Thursday. It is a rare civic distinction for a player whose grit made him a fan favorite throughout his career. And Carey Price is headed to where he belongs, the Hockey Hall of Fame. The Canadiens' goaltending legend was elected to the 2026 class alongside Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley in the player category, with Patrice Bergeron also headlining the class. The announcement came earlier this month. Carey Price is officially immortal in hockey terms. The Montreal Canadiens goaltending legend was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame as part of the 2026 class, joining Patrice Bergeron, Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley in the player category. CBC Sports NHL confirmed the announcement earlier this week.
At the Palais des Congrès on St. Catherine, the city's pulse slows for a purpose. Over 200 delegates, from Montreal startups to international research teams, file through the glass doors as the 11th World Energy Efficiency Conference opens its doors on Monday. Inside, a mural of the St. Lawrence River glows with LED light, each filament powered by a tiny wind turbine that spins on a nearby balcony. Among the crowd, 12-year-old Maya from a local francophone school steps up to demonstrate a solar-charged bike she helped design with her classmates. The crowd watches as the bike lights up a string of paper lanterns, a simple proof that community ingenuity can power everyday life. Later, a veteran engineer from the province shares a breakthrough in home insulation material that could cut heating bills by a third, sparking applause that echoes through the hall. These moments remind us that the drive for efficiency is more than technology. It's a shared hope for a cleaner, more affordable future for every family in Montreal and beyond.
In the heart of St. Laurent, a community center buzzed with determination Thursday afternoon. A mother, her 9-year-old son, and the father awaiting his own hearing gathered with volunteers from the local legal aid clinic and neighbors. After an asylum request was denied, the family faced removal for the mother and child within weeks. What unfolded was a coordinated effort that began 3 weeks earlier when a volunteer lawyer identified a procedural oversight. He filed an urgent application for judicial review, while neighbors organized a food drive that filled the center's kitchen with meals for the family during the waiting period. On Friday, the Immigration Tribunal granted a stay of removal, giving the family time to complete the appeal and remain together while the father's case proceeds. When the decision was read, the mother's eyes filled with relief, and the son clutched his father's hand, a simple gesture that spoke louder than any headline. It reminded us that community solidarity can turn uncertainty into hope. We'll carry that sense of togetherness into the night.
Thank you, Montreal, for watching the wrap. Today's rain sweetened Quebec strawberries and could bring lower prices for everyone. Montreal's new $40 million investment in police cameras shows a commitment to public safety. We appreciate your trust in us. Stay tuned tomorrow for more of the stories that shape our community. See you then.